Hey friends, today we're going to see what Jesus said about himself. But before we get there, if this is your first time here, I just want to personally welcome you to the HomeGrown Ministries YouTube channel. I'm DJ, and on this channel I strive to provide you with biblical wisdom and encouragement to strengthen your walk of faith. This video series is dedicated to my grandfather who passed away in January of 2019. I've been spending the last year going through his Bible, just talking about the different verses that he identified, whether through a sticky note or a highlight. Now, if you remember from the last episode, we asked the question, who do you say Jesus is? Because all of us at some point are going to be asked that question, so it's vital that you know how to respond. Today we're going to look at what Jesus says about himself. So today's verse comes from John chapter 11, verse 25. I'm going to show you my grandfather's sticky note, because I like to do that, so that way you can see his handwriting and his note. There you go. So the context of this verse is when Jesus is speaking to Martha, and Martha is the sister of Lazarus. At this point in the story, Lazarus has passed away and Jesus has arrived. And Martha comes to him and says, "Lord, if you were here while my brother was still alive, he would not have died." And through this conversation, we come to this vital key verse. And the verse speaks to what Jesus says about himself. So this is Jesus speaking to Martha. And he says in verse 25, "I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me will live even though he dies." So here's the key thing in this passage. Jesus makes two things very clear. First, he is the resurrection. He has the power to resurrect Lazarus now. That's what he's telling Martha. He's saying, I know you thought that he wouldn't have died if I was here, but even though he's been dead for 4 days, I am the resurrection. I could bring him back this instant if I wanted to. And then he also says that he is the life. And what he's saying there is, even if he chooses to allow Lazarus to be dead and continue to be dead, which is not how the story goes. If you know the story, Jesus does resurrect Lazarus right there on the spot. But he is telling her that even if he didn't, even if Lazarus is dead, he won't ever die because he believed in Jesus, because Jesus is both the resurrection and the life. And so when it talks about believers not dying, those that believe in Jesus not dying, Jesus really confirms this in verse 26, where he says, "And whoever lives and believes in me will never die." And then he ends that verse with a vital question. He says to Martha, "Do you believe this?" You see, Jesus is telling you right now, through me, through this video, at this very instant, that he is the resurrection and the life, and that he defeated death. And if you believe in him, you will never die. You'll be made right with God. You'll be redeemed, put back into a right relationship with God. And you also, because of his death and resurrection, receive eternal life. So as he asked Martha, I'm asking you right now, do you believe this? See, my grandfather believed this. And this gives me great hope, because that means right now, even though he's been gone from my life for almost 2 years now, he is still alive in heaven. He just changed locations. He went from this life to the next life. And guess what? The other thing that makes me really excited is that means that I will see him again, because I also believe that Jesus is the Christ. He is the Son of the living God, and he died for me as well as for you, so that we could be redeemed, have a right relationship with God, and have eternal life. So I ask again, do you believe this? Christian friends, I hope this message encourages you, and please continue to be the salt of the earth, be the light to the world. Go encourage somebody else today, because the world desperately, desperately needs it. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.